Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing good tonight. Let's see, is my screen sharing? Just doing a quick sound check and video check. Just gotta wait for the stream to catch up. Hey everyone, there we go. Cool. So how's it going, Timothy? Thanks for joining, man. I'm gonna go ahead and show you kind of what I got done yesterday off stream. And I just got off work and I'm trying to think of what I want to start on in this stream. But I did a lot off stream, so I thought I would show you that first and then we'll just kind of go from there. Okay, so this is what I was working on. I think at this point I basically have this rig for this bird finally done. So unless I run into some other animation issue when I'm doing some posing, I will fix that. So what I want to show you first before I show you this actual animation is I'm going to open up a new file, and let's see here. So it is going to be, let's see, mouth rig. It's going to be one of these that I was working on pretty late last night. Started at 9. Let's see if this is it. Yeah, this is it. Okay, so I just want to talk to you about the process of blocking. So if there's some of you that are new to animation, or are still learning or in the process of learning like myself, this is something that can really help you to be able to set up your scene pretty quickly, set up your character, your animation pretty quickly, and kind of get an idea for your timing for your animation. And I want to show you something because this is pretty interesting. This animation right here is the exact same that I did right here, except what I did is I did a method called blocking out. And what that is basically just setting up your main poses or your main keys for your animation. And I'll go ahead and just play it out so you can see. Okay, there's a couple of things in here, like for example, I couldn't really block out the mouth. So I just went ahead and I just animated the mouth. So that's not necessarily blocked out. That's kind of like, that's how I want the mouth to be. But for everything else that contains bones, what I did is I took this option right here, your smooth. By default, Anime Studio or Moho is going to create smooth keyframes. So your keyframe interpolation, the first thing that I did is I went and I made it a step. Now a step, what that's going to do is it's going to hold that image or your character, whatever that you're seeing on screen, it's going to hold that until it gets to that next keyframe. So for example, those eyes, there's no in-betweens. It's holding, holding, holding until it gets that keyframe. As soon as it hits that keyframe, it changes to the new image or position. So right here from 1 to 23, let's see, 23, what's going on in 23? I don't think this is anything. So if I actually took this out, I don't think, yeah, it won't do anything. But if I go from here to here, you can see this is when his head moves, and then here his body moves, right? So this is a good way that I could kind of get the timing for my animation. And this has changed a lot ever since I even started blocking. So I'll go ahead and hit play. And as you can see there, in my head, when I watched this back, I was like, okay, that looks really good. But once I added the in-betweens and once I turned these steps back into smooth and I started working with the timing a little bit more, it was too slow. And it was too slow, and it made the animation a little bit longer than needed. So what I did, and not by a lot either, or actually maybe it was too fast. Sorry, not too slow. So it was opposite of what I was thinking just there. So as you can see, this is 89 frames. Well, actually, you know what? So he continues chewing, and he stops chewing at about 120. But inside of this final one, I'm going to go ahead and play it out. Let's see, it's 120 frames. Let me see if I got the right thing here. Go to mouth. Yeah, so that's going to stop. Okay. So it probably stops around 79 frames. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play this out. It's about 96 frames. Okay. So right here, now this is what I did. This is basically like the same thing. So he's eating, and then he swallows the worms, right? So he basically, I was using that same thing. I was using basically the same poses. A couple things were different. A couple things that was nice about this too is I could see where some rigging mistakes was as well before creating any full length type not full-length animation, but just before getting pretty advanced in the animation. So when you see this play back, you can see that not only I'm moving his foot there, and also I actually looked at a couple of references of birds eating. There's one particularly good one that I found on YouTube of birds just eating, and it's just like a huge video of birds eating, like it was like seeds off the ground in a snowy environment. So it was really cool to watch because with YouTube you could watch things just like frame by frame, and it was really cool just seeing like all the overlapping action and all those things. And I can't wait to be able to really get down overlapping actions and really get really good at those principles of animation, because I only know the basics and kind of on an intermediate level when it comes to that. But that was really cool to see. But as far as also let me check to see if I am clipping at all. Let me check my audio level. Seems to be okay. But yeah, it was just something really cool. So that's basically what I have right now. As far as the animation, like I said, what I did first is I blocked it all out, and it just really helps you to get the timing. So I highly suggest you do that. And then once you do that, I'll just show you. Once you have everything blocked out, what you're going to do is you're going to highlight all those keyframes on your timeline. You're going to right click them and you go to smooth. Now what's going to happen is all the in between is going to be happening. So there's going to be a lot of slow movement and stuff. So now I got to add my freezes and stuff where things should be held before continuing, before moving again. So I'll show you what that means. So I'll go ahead and hit play. See how it's all very, very slow. So now I have to take a look at all these things. So right now, for example, I don't want his body to move. So in order to not do that, I'm going to grab all the bones that are going to move his body, and I'm going to take a look at them, see where they're at on this time frame. And I can see from here, he's going to be moving all the way over to here to this position. But let's say I want him to hold that position for a lot longer. Let's say I want to hold it till about there. So he's going to maintain that position until this one here, right? And then in between here is when I could add some other movements of his body as he's going down. Maybe his head goes down first before the rest of his body, or depending on however you want your bird to be set up. But just watching the different references, the birds, they actually go head down first and then their body follows. I don't know if I really did a good job with this. Let's see. You can't really tell because it's pretty quick. And also the other thing too, so he guides his body with his head first. So first off, as you can probably see, is I made him look at the actual food, but then I had his eyes follow the food, and then the rest of the body goes down and he starts eating. But as far as this right here, you can see his eyes are kind of wonky as well. I wanted a blink there in between, so then I added that blink. So the bone that's controlling that eyelid movement there that you're seeing is the blinking bone. So if I go ahead and I select that blinking bone, I can see this bone really, it doesn't use any of these other channels, so I can just delete those. It only uses rotation. But I can see, oops, I deleted the wrong thing. Let me try that again. This right here. So this only uses rotation, so I'll delete those. So I can see from here, this rotation of this bone is rotating very, very slowly all the way to this point right here. But let's say I want to have his eye open longer. So all I needed to do is just hold his eye to however long I want it. Maybe I want to have him blinking though, so let's have his eye open to about here. And then right about here maybe, as he's about to start going down, we'll have him blink. This smart bone's a little goofy, so I don't put it down all the way. And then open it back up. Right, so okay, but now the other thing that's really wonky is his eye. His eye is slowly moving down. So what I got to do, I got to highlight that bone. I got to see what's moving. So I know that I'm using the scale and the translation because that's how I set that bone up, but it doesn't use any rotation. So I'm going to delete that channel altogether. So right here, that translation should be holding a lot longer. Maybe the best thing would to actually just let's move this keyframe back, because that keyframe, what that was is his eye moving forward. And let's have him hold his eye in that same position. And then what we'll do is during this blink, we'll have his eye move to that new position. So during the blink, it'll be like that. Okay, so there's kind of a lot going on with the rest of us that still kind of messes it up. So you just take it one thing at a time. The other thing that I would notice is his head. His head looks weird. It's slowly moving down. So I don't want his head to move down either. So maybe I do after he blinks. So he blinks, he looks down, and then his head moves down. So let's go ahead and play that out. Right? But now then you see it moves back up. So let's make sure that that keyframe does not exist. And let's see what this next one is. There you go. So, oh, it still kind of moved up a little bit. Yeah, there's still some movement on that head. That looks a little weird. So what I could do is I could just drag out that keyframe, or copy it, I mean. Copy that keyframe and then paste it to right about here. See? So that's the process. So that's how you go from your blocking, from your steps, to putting them into smooth. Now, another technique that I use that I want to talk to you about, that I talked about a little bit in another stream, is I really like doing what the animator Victor Paredes suggested, which is to animate on twos. When you can. When you're doing faster motions, you're not going to be animated on twos, but look at here. So all of these keyframes, these are set on odd frames, and it actually has made it a lot easier for me to keep track of where all my keyframes are. Because usually when you got a lot of bones and you got a lot of movement going on and you're animating on ones, you're animating on odd and even numbers sometimes, right? Because you're trying to get your timing right. But with twos, it's really easy to organize your keyframes because there's not going to be keyframes in the middle and you're not left wondering, like, what is that keyframe? Like, what's it doing? So for example, if I take and I move this keyframe right here, I can see already what that keyframe is. That keyframe is all the bones in his body right here. For example, this bone. Let's take a look at this one. That's his eye. See, it's really easy to see. But if I had like another keyframe in between there and I was moving this, I only know what that keyframe is, but I don't have no idea what that keyframe in the middle is. I can move them at the same time, but then it just gets more confusing because of the timing. If I'm trying to retime things, it's a lot more time consuming is what I'm trying to say. So animating on twos, highly suggest it if you haven't started doing that already. Okay, so for right now, does anybody have any questions? I know with these streams I've just like talked a lot and I don't do enough, so I just kind of want to work on that too because it strains my voice a lot as well. I get nervous when it's hard doing this, like doing a stream. I'm talking to a computer with camera hoping someone on the other side is listening. So I have a tendency of just talking because I get nervous. I'm not the greatest like public speaker or anything like that, and it shows too. If I were to do public speaking, I would just be talking. So if you have any questions or anything like that, let me know. But for now, I'll try working on this scene a little bit more, so you can watch the process of what it is that I'm doing. But that's basically it that I could think of that I could talk about right now. And I guess for the rest of the time, I'll just kind of be sitting here. But if you have any questions, I'll just be sitting and animating. I wish I had some music, but yeah. So feel free to let me know if you need any help with anything or answering any of your questions. Okay, so I'm just going to go back and I'm going to delete this. See, I'm already talking to myself like I wouldn't be doing this in real life. I wouldn't be like, oh, I'm just going to go back and delete this. I'm only saying it because there's silence, and so I'll just get used to it. I'm going to turn my mic away, but if I see a question, I will answer your question. So real quick, what I'm trying to do right now is I'm trying to figure out how I want to get my my cameras set up, like my zoom and things like that, where I want that to be occurring. So I got to look at my storyboard, um, which, by the way, I wish I had a more refined storyboard. It's very, very rough. I just haven't had time to work on it. But let's take a look at what I originally had. So I'm kind of in a weird spot right now because I've done a thing where people can submit their voiceovers. So I really can't work too much on the parts where there's going to be voiceovers. There's going to be 3 different kinds. There's going to be one for the TV, one for off-screen, which that's not a problem at all. But this main character right here, I'm trying to think of what to do because I'm going to leave the Moho groups. I'm going to leave them to vote for who they want for each of the voices. That way it's not. That way it's more fair. It's community's choice and not just my preference of which voice I like, because I appreciate all the people who have sent their voiceovers and everything to me, and I don't want to be left with the responsibility of, hey, sorry, I like this person's voice more than yours. I would rather just have them be voted. It's the most fair way to go. So people's choice, basically. So yeah, so what I was thinking of doing is I'd have the voiceover before this guy's eating his bowl of worms. So I've got a couple submissions, so I'm going to go ahead, and there's one in particular that I think would work pretty well with this character. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to start animating that scene. So I'm going to call this 014, 015. So this is just this is all part of scene 1. So this is where I got to get things organized. Is I have this called scene 1, but the one before it would be happening before, so I don't want to call it scene 0. So that's why it's really important too in your storyboard to have your scenes labeled as well, or your scenes or your shots. It's basically the same thing. So to have them labeled. So you know what? I think I did, even though it's just a rough thing. I think I did at least have it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this would be scene. Nope. 5, 6. Yeah, so this would more likely be scene 5. So let's go ahead and let's start. I'm going to start labeling these properly according to how I have it set there. I'm just going to go into scene. So this is going to be scene 5. Even though the rest of them are scene 01, I'm just going to create a new folder and just hide them for now. And I call them the Z folder. That's where I just put all the old versions that I'm not using anymore. But in case the software crashes, I have backups of. So this is going to be scene 5 version 15. And so what scene we're going to be creating then is, gosh, I keep on losing that thing there. So the one that we're going to be creating is called, so that's scene 3. I think it's scene 4. So I'm gonna create scene 4. Okay. So yeah, let's go ahead and let's do a file save as and call this scene 04 underscore 01 because this is my first version of this. So I'm gonna go ahead and save. So now I have my new save. I'm gonna go ahead and clear everything from the document. And again, right now I'm just talking, so I'm gonna push the microphone away and get to work. Oh, just to answer, or just to read off a couple of the comments that we're getting here. So Timothy says, actually hearing you go through your thought process helps to know if I'm thinking correctly with my own project. Yeah. Yeah, so I'll bring up important talking points. Like if there's something important that I know I should be talking about, I'll start talking again. But yeah, I just don't want to just be talking for the sake of talking. And then Family Fanware says, how long has this taken you so far? I have no idea. It's taken a while, that's for sure. because I work a lot on stream and off stream as well. So on stream, this is like what, my 5th day, so that's about 5-6 hours alone. But off stream, it's probably been about another. Let's see. I could probably just figure it out just by this. So I started on the 10th, so about 4 days ago. Well, with the bird. I've started with other things sooner than that. So yeah, so since the 10th, and then each day I've probably spent about 3 or 4 hours, usually till like 1 or 2 in the morning. I don't know why, but I want to get a sense of accomplishment with my animation, get to a sense of completion before I can even let myself rest, or else it's just going to keep me up all night. You probably experienced that too. That's the kind of the obsession part about animation. But yeah, so it's taken me probably a total of, I would say 18 to 20 hours so far. I've almost spent a day worth of work animating this over the 4 days. So yep, so that's basically how long. So this voiceover, just to give credit to the person, this is recorded by a member of the Moho Pros group named Mike Peacock, and I think it fits the character actually pretty dang well. There was also submissions for voiceovers for the announcer and also for off screen, and I think he did best for the bird itself. I think others did better for the other categories. So I'll go ahead and play this out.
That move makes us look so stupid.
So I think it's totally different from my voice, and kind of the tone that he had set for that bird for his attitude. I think it's gonna be really fun to animate too as well. So especially this first part, like me, I said ha ha, but I told people to switch it up, and so I like what he did. He went tja, like yeah. I don't know. I can't do the same noise, but
that move makes us look so stupid.
Let me just make sure. Yeah, the desktop audio's
That move makes us look so stupid.
So I thought that was pretty cool. I think he did a really good job. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start doing the lip syncing according to this the sound wave that he'd given me. So that's what I'll start working on now. Also, let me know if the desktop audio, the audio coming from the computer, if it's too loud for this voice part, because you're going to be hearing a lot of weird sounds as I'm trying to match up the as I'm doing the lip syncing. Oh my gosh. There we go.
That move make
I can't remember what I used for the V key, so I'm having a brain fart trying to figure out which one to substitute it with to make it look right.
That move makes us look.
Move makes. That move makes. That move. Move. Yeah. Make. Look. Look, so, look, so, look, so. Wow, it's a really long S. Jeez.
This looks so stupid.
Stupid.
So stupid. So stupid.
I don't know. I might have to. It's interesting because when I first was creating these lip syncs, I was doing it to my mouth, like the sounds that come out of my mouth, but the sounds that come out of his mouth are like completely different, and it's I don't know, it's weird. It's really throwing me off right now. I've never really worked too much with animating. Well, I have actually, but kind of a unique animation, this one.
That move makes us look so stupid.
So I might need to throw in some new shapes in there just to match his sound.
That move makes us look so stupid.
I don't know. I think that might look okay.
That move makes us look so stupid.
What do you guys think? Does that look pretty good to you?
That move makes us look so stupid.
I just need to go through this one more time. I'm going to be replaying this quite a bit because I gotta look for mistakes now. So bear with me. I'll set my start and stop time.
That move makes us look so stupid. 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 That move makes us look so stupid.
Okay, there's something
that move makes us look so
around
stupid.
move. Move is something's off on move. So it's already coming down on his S right there. So that's kind of off. So let me fix that. Probably hold that for a little bit longer. So maybe another keyframe. So it's the O. So that O could probably be held for a little bit longer before going to the S. Dang it. Why does it keep on doing that? So I see an issue already that I don't like. I need to fix the SS shape of his mouth. So what I need to do first, because switch layers are a pain in the butt sometimes, is I gotta select that layer first before working in it, actually. So now that's selected. I want to fix that. That bottom part should not come out so far. That's the back of his mouth. And there we go. Oh, what the heck? Ah, crap. So what I'm working in right now, I don't want to, all I want to do is change the animation. I don't want to change the actual character, because what it's doing is it's breaking my reference. So I need to do all of the animation changes in the original reference. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Silly Bird main bone layer right here, right click, and then go to Locate Original Layer. And what's going to do, it's going to open up the original project with this with the Silly Bird. Wait, what is this? Yeah. So did I? Oh crap. Trying to figure out why it's using this animation in this file. This should have been in the scene file only. I don't remember creating it in here. Bear with me just a moment. I need to go to the other scene, make sure I'm not saving these things as the wrong file name.
That move make.
Ah, crap. What the heck? Wait, what is this? This is scene 4. Oh no. I think I saved it over something else. No, right there, scene 5. There we go. Yeah, I don't know what the heck this animation is. Yeah, so I'm just going to delete that because I don't need that. Because what I'm going to be doing is when I reference this back into my scene file, it's going to reference this animation overriding my existing, and I don't want to do that. So what I need to do though is I do need to go to the mouth, and like I said, I need to go to the SS, select that, and then I need to fix it from here. So I need to fix it from my locate original, or my original file, and then I need to reference it. So to do that, I'm going to save this. I can close the scene 15 thing because that's nothing. I'm going to go back to just 1. So right now you can see that the reference broke. All the arrows are red. So to make those come back again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to update the layer reference. And now I need to make sure I'm selecting the right check marks because this could ruin what I'm already previously doing on this particular project. So all I'm trying to do is I'm trying to replace mismatched vectors. So everything else, layer differences, bone differences, I haven't done anything, so I'm just trying to replace the vectors there.
That move makes us look so stupid.
So as you can see there, his bottom beak part is fixed. So the so, is that what you guys are saying, TCG and Timothy? Are you saying the so is what's off on the lip sync? It might be. I mean, I need to keep looking at it. I was looking at a different part, but I'll slowly make my way there, I guess. Sweet. Awesome. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
That move makes us look so stupid. That move makes us look so stupid. That
Oh, I can see where it's messed up right there. So what is this mouth shape right here? If you hover over it, usually it lets you see it, but sometimes it bugs out. So this is S, that's ah. This is MP, I don't know. Yeah, see, it's not really doing what it should be doing. What mouth shape is this doing? Okay, so what I want to do then is I probably just want to have this closed. Probably the best thing right now, just have its default closed shape. There we go. Okay, and then the cha. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, that's moving everything. Why is that moving everything? Dang it, I don't want to do that. These switch layer things are so confusing. I don't know why I can't get it right. Freaking heck. Like I'm dragging it right now, I'm dragging it. It's not doing anything. But if I move this, it moves all of those, and I don't want to do that. Flip. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what the crap it's doing. So I'm just going to create that same mouth shape. Whoops, wrong one. Cha. What am I looking for? Was it this one? Oh, what the heck is it doing? Okay, so it's closing that mouth. So I'm going to delete this MP mouth. I don't need that. That's what's got me messed up. What the heck? Oh, I'm looking at two different shapes here. That's why I'm getting confused with what I have. So this is supposed to be S as well. That's what I was using.
That move makes us look so stupid. That move makes us look so stupid. That move makes us look so stupid.
Oh gosh. Okay, so something I just realized is the ah. He's got two little feather things that pop up, but everything else has just one.
That move makes us look so stupid.
So it just pops. So I need to fix that too. So again, what I'm going to do, and it's kind of time consuming, but it'll really save you a lot of time in the long run, is I'm going to fix his little thingy right there. The little, whatever that is. What was that on? That was on ah. 1 or 2. Oh, it's on all the ahs. So it's part of the yellow, and then it pops into the red in all the ahs. Okay, so I need to fix that. I'm going to go back to the mouth, go to the first ah, go ahead and take that out. And I'm just going to bring, all I'm going to do is just bring the yellow into it, because I think that's mostly what all these other things are doing. Maybe? No?
That move makes us look. That move makes us look.
Yeah, so it's just the red that's popping that looks weird. So if I still cover those parts in yellow, I think it'll still look all right. So I got to change it to Ah2. Just move that yellow, and Ah3. Just move that yellow. Okay, so same thing. So what I did is I did a vertex update. So I'm just going to go ahead and say save. And I'm going to go to the Silly Bird, update layer reference, and uncheck those ones because those don't do anything. Okay, so if that worked, that should have worked, but
that move makes us look so stupid.
It did. Okay. It's just a very.
That move makes us look so stupid.
Oh man, now I'm just focusing on it because now it's a very big change. It's.
That move makes us look so.
I probably could have done without moving that. Because I did the lip syncing wrong, but I'm running out of time to continually try to fix myself. So what I would have done is I would have done a separate head for each of the lip syncs. So a new head for every mouth shape. That way I can move all of the respective pieces inside of that head layer that mouth would be affecting. Like if I'm moving my jaw, It's affecting, obviously, my bottom jaw area. I wouldn't just be talking, my mouth's just moving, my bottom jaw staying still. Same with like the little feathers up here and those feathers, so.
Stupid. That move makes us look so stupid. That move makes us look so stupid.
I don't like that. I noticed it, so now I gotta fix it, or it's gonna bug me. So what I'm gonna do really quick is I am going to fix that. So the best way for me to do this is to actually grab another reference of this same mouth shape. So let's say like any of these are all the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a duplicate. I'm going to go ahead and say duplicate layer. I'm going to drag it outside of the switch so that I can always see it without having to switch to it. So there it is right there. I'm just going to move it out of the way though, just right here. And I'm going to use this as a reference for my other mouth. So now I'm going to grab the first ah 1, right? And let's actually, rather than have it above, let's move it below. Okay, and it looks like there's actually some animation on there. I'll just get rid of that. So I'll move it below, right below there. I'll match up as best I can. So what I'll do so that I can see it, excuse me, so I can see it better, is I'm going to go ahead and hide the ah right there. So that's just going to be, oops. Let's see, what am I doing right now? So this one. I'm trying to just see the vectors. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to match up the vectors to what is below it, right? Because that's all that needs to be changed, really. So I'm just going to go ahead and fix that really quick for the first ah, and then I'll do the second for the third, and then I'll do it for the second and third. So that's the first one. I'm going to switch to ah 2. What? Okay, so that looks right already. What? That can't be right. Okay, so something's screwy. Yeah, so those are up higher. What is going on? So I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong now. Shoot. Okay, so that's a new mouth shape. That's the ah. I'm going to change it to the O again, because now I'm trying to match these two up, because I think I messed something up. Okay. So when I go back to the ah, I'm going to go to ah 1. Apparently that's ah 1. What? Oh, it's hidden. So I need to unhide it. Okay, so, whoops, sorry, that was probably loud. So I need to fix that. So I'm going to go back to the base, and I'm going to fix that. There we go. Now it's working, as it should. So I'm just going to move those down to where I could actually see it and see how high they're going up. So that's going to make it look a little bit better. Do the same thing. We're going to go to ah 2. And I'm just going to use what's referenced below it. Just pull these down so I can see them a little better. So that's going to about there. Okay, so that's ah 2. And we're going to do the same thing for the last one. Okay. I can't even see. What I could probably do is I could probably turn on the, what do you call it? The path to the one below it. That might help. I don't know. Does it? I don't know. I can't see it. I guess it doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't. Oh, it does. It's just very hard to see. Okay, so those shapes should be correct now. For 3, 2, and 1. Whoops. Oh. See, those are all the same. Dang it. Yeah, I messed this up still somehow. So I need to go back and I need to fix that. So what I'll do is I'll just toggle this on and off so I can see what's below it. There we go. That might be better. Hopefully I'm looking at the right thing. Seem to be. Okay. So that's right. So let's do that. That's a better idea. So I'm going to go back to 3. I'll fix that. Toggle it off first, and then I'll just match up. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. And then I'll match up the paths. Turn that back on, and then we'll go to 1. Turn that off, and just work with the base. Okay, so that should be good now. I'm hoping. Go ahead and delete that layer. Very minor adjustments. All these other ones, these were just duplicates of the other, which was easy. But because I'm going back and trying to change things after the fact, it doesn't make it as easy. But now they're all pretty similar. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's save this. And the reason why I'm not giving it a new version name every time is because it needs to continually reference this file. And every time I change it, like if I change this to 31, it's going to break that reference. So what it's using that file name, and I'm guessing it's metadata to be able to reference all the different things that are contained in both projects. Okay, so now that that's all done, I'm going to go back and update my layer reference, and yeah, so same thing. I still haven't done any of that. So now all the mouths should be fixed. As far as the feathers, they're only going to be slightly off, so that looks a lot better. Okay, so now I can continue the mouth lip sync.
That move makes us look so stupid. 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 That move makes us look so stupid.
Okay, so something's weird. Yeah, like that. So I don't know what that's about. So I'm gonna go back to my switch section. Don't even know whether that's there, so I'm gonna just delete it. So I wanted to do like a stupid. So what I'll probably do is I'll just drag out the O and see what that fixes.
So stupid. That move makes us look so stupid.
Okay, that looks better. All right. Let's just see. Just hold it. I thought it all looks pretty good. Okay, so that was about, yeah. All right, yeah, I think that looks pretty good too, guys.
That move makes us look so stupid. That move makes us look so stupid.
All right, cool. So I'm not going to mess with that anymore. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to save it. I'm just going to do a new version really quick here. Scene 402. Okay.
That move makes us look so stupid.
Okay, so now that we got the lip syncing out of the way, now we can start working on the fun part. Because lip syncing can be pretty tedious sometimes. So now we're just going to work on the animation. So again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to block it out. So now you're going to see the process of how I actually block it out. But before that, I'm going to go grab a drink of water because my throat is really dry. I'll be right back. It'll be like 10 seconds, a minute. All right, awesome. Thanks for waiting. All right, cool. Let's get animating. Rather, let's get blocking. So we're not quite ready to animate yet. So we need to set up all of our things here as step. Yes, so I'm already on 2s. I'm going to go ahead and change the interval to 2s as well. So this is going to be the default. Everything's going to be on 2s. Again, to make sure you're on 2s, you're going to be animating on odd numbers. So what's it going to do? Oh yeah, so it's going to change these to step. Okay, so the first thing that I can do, which makes it really easy, is I could just straight away just start posing things. So, yeah, like what face would he be making, right? So maybe he's maybe a little bit further down. I'm trying to think. See, that's where the acting part comes in. To see yourself, how your face is acting when you're doing these voiceovers. So if I was to do it, that move makes us look so stupid. So he's like rolling his eyes. So maybe like the head moves forward a little bit. That might be a thing. And as far as the head moving forward, maybe that could be just like a translation. Oops, that's not working. Okay, so what I did is just translated the bone off of the actual body there. Let's see, what else would the rest of his body be doing? Maybe his shoulders are going up. No, with the head going out, that'd look dumb. So he's probably throwing his head back, maybe. Let's do that. Instead of the head going forward, let's throw the head back. Oops. Let's throw the head back a little bit. Okay, so let's bring the shoulders up. As much as I can. I don't know. Shoot. These shoulders weren't really made to go up. Okay, I'll have to kind of work with it. So what I'll do is I'll fix the points. Nope, shoot, that's gonna cross that over. It's gonna, it has to be the motion's gonna be very subtle then. Okay, so there, I'm gonna fix those points at least. Okay, so I gotta remember I got some point animation too that will be floating once I take everything off of step. But again, what this is doing is just really helping me to visualize what this character's gonna be doing. His emotion, his eyes are just emotionless, so let's give him like some actual eyes that'll be doing something. Let's go ahead and make his pupils constricted to the size that we want. So maybe something like that. Maybe. So maybe he's beginning his eye roll. I don't know. Maybe he's just looking up. He's just like looking up in just disbelief. He's just like, oh my gosh. What are you doing, computer? Gosh, it won't let me push the Z key. It won't let me. Freaking heck. It won't let me manipulate my bones. There we go. Maybe I can hold out that cha a little bit longer so I can make it work with the animation. So I'm going to go back to the mouth. Or maybe my animation's off a little bit. So again, this is where the timing really helps. So it does look a little off. So I'm going to go ahead and freeze all my bones, all my poses there. And I'm going to bring that back a little bit. And what I'm going to do also, just so that there's not so much crap in the background on this thing, I'm just going to go ahead and hide everything besides the actual bird and the worms. Okay, there we go. So you can see already, because I just moved those points, I need to also move those points for the arm, or they're going to pop. It'd be nice to give these mouths more motion.
That move makes us look so stupid.
Then maybe he's like looking up for a little bit, or maybe it's a quick like, and then he brings it back down. So let's say he brings it back down to at around that point. And I'm trying to think of, I'm just trying to visualize what he might be doing. So now he's looking forward, but now he's still like slumped over. I don't know. Still messing with it. Maybe his eyes are completely, he's just like, just totally annoyed at this point.
That move makes us look so stupid.
So
that move makes it.
I also moved the bones for his shoulder. So maybe at this point I can drop them down, and I'll do a little bit of like a delayed action. So first his head will go down, and then his shoulders, or something. I'll just have to find out what works best. So I got to drop his shoulders. I'll drop him down a little bit more, like I was saying. Maybe he like hangs them. Maybe he's just completely, he's so disappointed that he's basically just hanging his, like if you were hanging your arms down, you're slumped and your arms are just loosely hanging by your side. I can see if maybe that might work. It might look weird because they're wings, but I can give, I can give that a shot as well. And if I do that, what I'd like to do is give him more of a slump, make his head up higher, as high as I can get it, because I have a bone constraint. I have my bone constraint set because that's only as far as I animated the actual smart bone. So if I go any further, his neck's going to start deforming. So I set a bone constraint there to kind of help me with that.
That move makes us.
Okay, so that motion's really fast though. So going from there to there is going to look really weird. So I got to bring in this motion of him slunching, hunching down. I need to make that a lot further over.
That move makes us look so stupid. So that makes us look.
Maybe on so he's going back up. So he throws his heads up. Okay, I gotta act this out. So he throws his head up, and then he goes down. He's like slumped over. So stupid. And he goes back to being slumped. So he's like, huh, that move makes us look so stupid. Speaking of so stupid, I probably look dumb in the camera. I'll look at my, Yep, that does look pretty stupid. But yeah, so maybe he goes up a little bit right here. Oops, I can't bring his head up any higher, so I probably got to bring up that part a little bit more. Maybe just not bring his wings all the way up. Maybe they could still hang down to the side once he gets past this part. So he's saying so, and then he's going to go back down to stupid. And then he's going to resemble the pose. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy and paste the pose that I had before and just change it up a little bit.
That move makes us look so stupid. That move makes us look so stupid.
So yeah, so basically you're just getting the timing of your animation, just trying to get it right.
That move makes us look so stupid.
So I don't like this pose. This looks stupid. So I'm going to select this bone, and I'm going to go ahead and hit Control C, Control V, and I'm going to just put his head up, his head and his back.
That move makes us look so stupid.
So that's very, it's too much. I just need to go up just a little bit.
That move makes us look so stupid.
And it's very delayed, so this is so stupid. I want that to go back down a lot sooner.
That move makes us look so stupid.
Yeah, I think that looks okay. I don't want to exactly have it timed with his voice, and also I need to remember that I need to keep things on even numbers. So, because I'm animating on 2s. And some of this I might be animating on 1s. Like if the movement's really fast, I might need to animate on 1s, which is then in that case it's okay to animate on 18. But for right now, everything's set on 2s, so I'm just going to put that on 17.
That move makes us look so stupid.
Maybe he's just picking his head up. That probably just makes the most sense. So maybe he's just picking his head up and his arms on so before he goes to stupid. Okay, so we'll do that. We'll bring that pose back, and then we see I can't bring his head up. So maybe I can just bring his body up just a little bit.
That move makes us look so stupid.
Okay, and again, you can probably see the popping there. That's because I gotta remember I have points. So I gotta remember, whoops, I gotta remember to move those points with everything else when I'm moving stuff. You know what? Let's, as far as the points, just so I'm not constantly moving points around, I'm gonna do that last. So I'm just gonna take that out.
That move makes us look so stupid.
Dang it, his head's not moving up high enough. So I might need to redo the smart bones so I can make his head go a little bit higher or something. Yeah. Yeah, family fanware. This will be saved for later viewing. Yep, all of my streams, they'll be saved in a playlist, so you could watch them whenever you'd like to.
That move makes us look so stupid.
See, the reason why I don't like it with his whole body going up is because it's just too much. So the only other thing I can think of without doing smart bones or making a lot more work for myself is maybe just doing a head. His head going up? Nope, that looks dumb. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I got the timing to where I kind of want it to be, and I got all the main poses that I want.
That move makes us look so stupid.
So what I could do before all this is I could start setting my anticipation and the reaction to all of his movements. I got that from a tutorial from Victor, one of his webinars on Smith Micro. So if you haven't watched that yet, be sure to check that out. It's the Jumping Fox one. I learned quite a few things there when I was still learning a lot of this stuff.
That move makes us look so stupid.
Yeah.
Look so that move.
So what I can probably do then is put his head down. No, it doesn't work.
Move makes us look so.
All right, so I'm just gonna get past that part. So before he throws his head back, let's anticipate what that movement can be. So he can probably pull himself down and then throw himself up. Let's try that. And let's try to time it. See if we can get something that looks good. His eye. I got to fix his eye for all of these. So let's go ahead and copy the constriction of the pupil. Let's make all that the same. So I'm going to grab my scale and paste it to frame 1 so it's all the same. And then he's looking forward, so he's going to be looking at the TV. Which would be good to bring the TV in, at least so I can see what he's looking at. So the TV's right there. And then I'll have him closing his eyes. So as he's throwing himself down to throw himself up, I'll have him close his eyes and then open his eyes as he gets to the top. Maybe that might look the best. So I'll have it so he's kind of like already annoyed. His eyelids are kind of like, yeah, okay, I'll watch this. And then he watches the bird and he's like, oh, so dumb. See, I can like imagine what he'd be doing, but it's a totally different thing to be able to act it out. Oh gosh. Okay, so maybe at frame 15 is when his eyes are fully closed. Eyes are open, so he's kind of rolling his eyes a little bit with that movement. I like that. I like how he can like hold that position. So maybe I can have him hold that position for a little bit longer. So I can go ahead and just copy all those keyframes to about like 27.
That move makes us look so stupid. That move makes us look so.
I would like to do something with his arms on so like so. I don't know. Hold on. So he's like, huh, that move makes us look so stupid. Like almost like bring him up. No, that wouldn't work. I'm thinking of like bringing him up, but it doesn't make sense to do that.
That move makes us look so stupid.
There's just very limited movement in his body, really.
That move makes us look so.
All right, so let's do this. So I'm going to move away from continually working on my poses, and I'm just going to start animating. And I'll start with this first part. These things I'll still leave in steps, but all this right here, I think I got figured out.
That move makes us look.
So I'm going to start animating that. So to start animating, you're just going to go ahead and switch all of these over to smooth. Okay, and then I'm just going to go ahead and, whoops. Not only that, you need to change this to smooth as well. So I'm going to hit Control F to start freezing all of these poses. And also I'm going to end the playback right there. So I can just focus, I just need to focus on this one part. And that's probably all I'm going to do today. And then I'll do the rest off stream, and then we'll hop back on some other time and talk about what we did.
That move make. That move.
So you can see his eyes are like rolling into the back of his head. I don't want that. So the first thing I need to do is I need to create a keyframe for that bone for its translation. So right there to there. Don't want it rolling into his back of his head yet. Maybe right here. I just got to time it out, see what works. Oops. Yeah, that's 9.
That move make.
The blink is really quick. I want to hold out that blink a little bit longer. So yeah. So let's hold that blink inside of here. So let's grab the blink bone, which is this one. It's rotating. Okay, so let's hold it for, so this is going to be its end position, so I'll pull that somewhere back there, and then I will hold it till about here. So his eyes are staying closed. Well, not really closed there. Oh, that's interesting. His eyes are moving. Okay.
That move make. That move make.
So that looks pretty good. All right, so let's just focus on this part. So this movement where he's like slowly going down, I don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create, just so I can see it better, I'm going to go ahead and freeze all the poses for this particular pose. I'm going to create, I'm going to freeze this pose right here because this is anticipation. And then I'm just going to move them a little bit closer together so I can see where I'm at with my timing and what I can do with the in-betweens.
That move make. That move make.
I kind of like it how it is. But if I look at the in-betweens there, not really too much I can do. Eye rolls back. One thing that I can don't even know what I'm saying. Something that I can think I can do is, so his head right there, it's at its extreme point. Nope, it's not. Okay. So what I could do is do a little bit of like an overlapping action. So its head goes back to an extreme and then goes into like it's kind of resting, or it's, I don't know the right terminology, but it's going back further than the extreme. I don't know what that's called, but it's given like an overlapping action. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that back even further. Whoops. I got to do this again. So I got to take this head, so this bone where it's at currently, right here, I'm going to copy it, I'm going to paste it to about frame 21. I got to figure out what this is. What is this? Oh, that's his eyeball. I got to fix that too. So I need to make sure that's on 21. So it's on 2s. So that head, let's see. So this position, I'll have it go. Wasn't I just able to rotate that further? Oh, dang it. Okay, so that's as far as that head goes, but his back can go back a little bit more. So let's see if that's going to work. So before I do that, I'm going to do the same thing like I did for the head. I got to create that keyframe on 21. And not make it too crazy, but just give it a subtle. So it's like a subtle up and down. It's very hard to see actually, but you can kind of notice it. It's very subtle. So maybe I can move it down a little bit more, or I can move this extreme a little bit higher. I'll just have to see which one works best. So if I move that up higher, I think it still looks pretty good. But it'll be noticeably different if I move it like super high. So maybe like that. Let's see what that does. I like that. And what I can probably do as well is when he goes back to his resting position, I can offset the head going forward off a little bit. So I'll go to frame 19. I'll set a keyframe there. And then I will go to 23 and I'll make it drop just a little bit there. So now there will be a slight overlapping action with those two bones. Or should be anyway.
That movement.
So it bounces up. So the reason why it bounces up is because I created some other position here for that bone. So I need to make sure to get rid of that bone there and just paste it, just replace it with the other one. So there.
That movement. That movement.
So I think that looks pretty good. So let's go ahead and let's pull our time back a little bit further to like 54 to give us a little bit more time.
That move makes us look. That move makes us look.
I think it looks pretty good. So you can see it's slowly going back up. So the bones that are probably doing that.
That move makes us look.
It's probably this bone right here. So what I can easily do though is if I freeze this keyframe or freeze this pose, so Control F, I can just paste it wherever I need it, so it can hold that position a little bit longer and not move and be annoying.
That move makes us look. That move makes us look. That move makes us.
So that's a pretty extreme position. So that how far back it's going, I don't like how far back it's going, so I'm just gonna set it back a little bit further or forward.
That move makes us look. That move makes us look. That move makes.
Okay, so I think that's pretty good for now. Yeah, I've been working on this for, let's see, over an hour, a little bit longer than I expected. Yeah, I wanted to keep these to about an hour long, so I'm just going to go through the comments really quick here just to see what I missed. I'm starting to get like sleepy eyes. My contacts, they'll get foggy when I'm like getting tired. It's only 8 o'clock. Good grief. Timothy Solly says, "I'll need to reward this repeatedly to fully grasp everything." Yeah, definitely. This will be available for any time. And then Dan Drake. Dan Drake. I recognize that name. Dan Drake. Good grief! I don't think I've talked to you for forever, Dan. But yeah, do the wing tips move forward? They will, yeah. So when he, oh, you know what? Let's do that. Let's fit a little bit more in here. I think that'll be a fun part. Is getting his wings. We'll kind of make them sway slightly. I think that'll be really fun. So let's go ahead and do that.
That move makes it.
All right. So what I would do is this. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to lead with the shoulder, and then I'm going to create a drag with the wingtip. So there's a little bit of a drag, and then it's just going to be, I can't really show this with my arm right now, but it's going to be like this. It's going to be hanging, just like your hanging arm type of thing, okay? So, okay, when starting these, it's very hard for me to visualize what it is I want to do, but I'll do my best. Okay, so I'm going to lead with the shoulder, offset the wingtip. This will be the extreme, so let's go ahead and let's grab both of these, or sorry, this will not be the extreme. This will be the resting position of this particular arm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste it. Because what I want to do here is I want to do a little bit more extreme. So in this case, the arm here, let's see if I'm getting this right. Nope, that's not right. Let's see, so I'm still leading with the shoulder. Getting some stuff in up there. But
that move makes us.
So I do want it to bounce back like that, not as quickly, so I'll have to fix the timing.
That move makes us look.
Let's go ahead. Oops, what is this doing? I'm trying to constrain my movements here with Alt, and it's not working. There we go.
That move makes us look.
So what I'm going to do really quick though is I'm going to offset this. Oh, it's right now it's on an odd number or even number. I don't want to do that, but I'm going to set it to 43. That way I get a little bit more time to do my other drag for this for the wingtip. So the wingtip is going to slowly follow back the other way. And I also, what is this? Oh, what? Oh, that's off. Okay, so let's fix that. Let's put that on 39. Okay.
That move makes us look. That move makes us look. That move makes.
Okay, there's too much movement now. So going back the other way, there's too much movement. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it back closer to something like that. Let's just see what that looks like.
That move makes us look.
And as you can see, it's trying to slowly move into the next position. So let's just go ahead and freeze those keyframes and paste them so that it holds.
That move makes us look. That move makes us look. That move makes us look.
I don't. It's a little too wavy.
That move makes us look.
Let me take off the bones so I can see this a little bit better.
That move makes us look. That move makes us look.
It's the timing. So I need to tighten up the timing a little bit. So I'm gonna grab all those keyframes for the bones, that is, for the arms. So I'm gonna grab those keyframes and I'm gonna move them in closer to frame 41, and that should fix it.
That move makes us look. That move makes us look. That move makes.
I'm going to offset the wingtip to the other frame that I had it at before. So that wingtip is going to be at 43, and that should fix that, I'm hoping.
That move makes us look. That move makes us look.
So now there's a slight delay. Nope, it's not working. Let's play that out one more time.
That move makes us.
I'm going to turn off, sorry, I'm going to turn that off, the audio. I forgot that that was still playing through. I don't know. After looking at it, I think it looks okay. Yeah, I think that looks okay. I'll have to, what I have to do with these is I have to take a break. Because if I'm just watching this too long, everything might look okay or might look pretty bad. So that's going to be it for me, actually, for tonight. As always, if you want to support my channel, head over to my website down in the description. If you want to join my membership, be sure and join that as well. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you are new to the channel, please subscribe. I'm going to have more streams coming out this week as well, showing you my entire process, I should say, for the progress of this animation that I am creating. So I just want to thank everyone for joining me tonight. I'm going to go through really quick and just check the comments, and if nobody else has anything, I will have to. We'll just take a break from here, and we'll continue on another day. So Dan Drake says just another way to anthropomorphize. I don't know how to say that word for some reason right now. The character a bit more. Also, motion graph tab is good for tuning down existing motions that look good, but are maybe a tad off or a bit too much. Yeah, the other thing too is I am animating on 2s, so maybe that maybe one of those waving motions might be a little bit too fast and might look better on 1s. I don't know, but yeah, usually the motion graph for sure is definitely going to help you see the motion of the actual wings themselves. So yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, guys, I'm basically beat right now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and log off from here. Thank you so much for joining the stream, and you all have a great night.